Oh no, someone just gave me the sourdough starter. I don't know what to do with it. What even is it? Hi, my name is Sarah. You have come to the right place. A year ago, I didn't even know what sourdough starter was. In this video, I will share with you everything you need to know about what sourdough starter is, how to take care of it. You are not attached to it. You can make it work around your schedule. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel as I continue to grow and learn about sourdough starter and share all of my secrets with you. Let's go on this journey together. Thank you for watching. Hi, let's talk sourdough starter. So, this is my starter. We're going to talk about what is sourdough starter, what is discard, what does the feeding process look like? Is it as high maintenance as it seems? Let's go. So I have been neglecting this both because I've been very busy, but for you guys as well, so I could make this video. Sourdough starter is a live yeast made from just flour and water. When you leave it for a few days, it can develop a thin liquid layer on top, and that is called hooch. I don't have any hooch on top right now, but it is kind of dry on top right now,
like
and
a crust.
It's kind of a crust, yeah. So it's real discardy, and you know your starter needs to be fed when it smells alcohol-y, acetone-y. So this cap layer, I'm just gonna throw it out right now.
Wait, let me see it.
Well, I have it on this fork here. It's gross. You don't.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's a terrible view. Gross. Okay.
So it should not be solid.
Yeah, right. Okay, so she looks bubbly. This is sourdough discard because it needs to be fed. That's what makes it sourdough discard. So I'm going to just get rid of this jar altogether. I want to clean it. I'm going to start fresh. When you feed your sourdough starter, there's a minimum amount you need to feed it, not necessarily a maximum amount. So I'm going to pour this in here. Not all of it. I don't want all of it. I don't need that much right now. I'm not going to save my discard. Generally, when I'm keeping up with my starter, I don't really end up with discard at all because I plan out what I'm going to make. For example, if I'm going to make sourdough waffles, I need 2 cups of sourdough starter, and so I make 2 cups of starter and then a little bit left, so I know there's going to be some at the bottom, and then I can just keep maintaining that. So I put a little bit in here. Now let's talk about how I'm going to feed this. I do not use a scale when I feed my sourdough starter. I do use a scale when I am making a recipe, but I've been successful without it just for feeding it. It's a lot quicker and easier right when I get home from work in the mornings before I go to our little guy. It's just something really quick I can take care of. With this scale, it's a little putsier. So I have roughly a 1/4 cup of starter here and a 1/4 cup of flour, unbleached flour, and I'm going to do a little bit less than a 1/4 cup of water. Now everyone does sourdough differently. Some people like it to be thicker, some people like it a little bit runnier. I have been experimenting with making it a little bit thicker, and that's been going well. I'm feeding this to show you guys. I actually don't need to use this right now. I'm not planning on making anything with sourdough in the next week. So I am going to put a lid on this. You cannot over stir it. You just gotta get it all mixed, get all the flour mixed in, and then you're good. I actually really am liking this texture here, if you want to see.
Oh, I could actually see it through the glass if you do that
cool.
again.
It's thick.
Okay. Wow.
And sometimes you want to change that throughout the year. So heat, when it's warm, when it's summertime, your sourdough starter will rise a lot faster. And when it's colder weather, not so much. But as long as you keep it healthy, and sometimes if I really want it going, I will put it in the warmest room of our house. It's not an issue. We live in a cold climate, and I've been able to make sourdough this whole time just fine. So After I feed it, when I leave my sourdough starter on the counter, I just put a non-airtight lid on it. So she is fed. That's what it means to feed your sourdough starter. Now,
So in general, you do about equal proportions, water to flour.
but since I've been practicing with making it thicker, I've been doing a couple tablespoons more of flour than I have been of water.
So a little lighter on the water.
That's been working. So that's it. So I'm going to put this in the fridge because I'm not going to make sourdough for the next week at least, and that's fine. This can last even a year in the fridge.
So you're putting an actual cover on it.
Yeah, because it doesn't need that. It's putting it in the fridge just stops all the processes with it.
Slows it down.
Yeah. So when I first got my starter, I thought I was going to have to buy a booster seat and airplane tickets and bring this thing to work with me and feed it. You do not have to do that. You make it work around your schedule. So I put this in the fridge. Next week I decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to make sourdough starter. I will take it out of the fridge. I'll start feeding it. You can tell when your sourdough starter is ready a few different ways. So you can put a rubber band, Sharpie, ponytail, whatever, around exactly where it is now after you feed it. And then you can actually see how much it rises. When it doubles in size, that's when it's ready. You can also do the float test. This is not ready, so I can't show you that right now. I believe I have another video.
Well, we can show that later.
Maybe we can insert. Well, if there's another video, we can insert it here. But the float test is where you take any bowl of any water. You just pour a little bit of sourdough, just a dollop of the starter on top. If it all floats, it's good to go. If not, if some of it is kind of drooping to the bottom, you need to wait a little longer. Another test is when you can really see, and I do want to insert this clip. You can see the gluten strands really strongly. It's really bubbly, it's robust. You can tell it's very alive. You can see the gluten strands pulling away from the side of the jar. And another trick, bouncing it on the counter. If it does not sink, that means you're good to go. If it starts to sink, then she's a little hungry. So unbleached flour and filtered water. That's all you need. What else? So when you feed your sourdough starter, say I have a quarter of a cup baseline starter that I am working with, you don't want to feed it below a quarter cup of flour and water because the entire thing needs to be, all the contents of the starter need to be fed and kept alive and thriving. So in order to do that, you need to feed it equivalent of what's in here. So 1 to 1 to 1 ratio
Just
minimum.
equal proportions.
Yeah, so like what I just did, I have a quarter cup of sourdough starter, quarter cup of flour, a little bit less than a quarter cup of water. If I really want to get it going, I have a recipe that calls for a lot of starter, and I need to make it tomorrow.
Like 2 cups or something.
I'm going to put 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of water in here. That's too much. It's going to be too hard for the sourdough to keep up. You want it to be a little bit more concentrated. If I really wanted to, I would be fine putting 1 cup flour, 1 cup water in it. But you,
Oh, because it's just a little more than the total volume right now.
Right.
Total volume is like 3/4.
Right. So as you work with sourdough, the way to keep it as robust and active and alive as possible, you want to use as much of your starter as possible, all the way down to a tablespoon left or so, and then feed it again to keep it young.
The other thing is too is if you're not getting rid of discard, you're just going to be doubling your ratios every time, essentially.
Yeah, so I do plan I plan it so specifically though that I don't really need to get rid of discard. So there are plenty of discard recipes out there. But I generally just keep it, I don't use a lot of discard recipes. I generally keep it alive as much as I need. So like I said before, if I need half a cup of starter, I'm going to get 3/4 of a cup of starter, use that half a cup, and then I have a little bit left in here. And that's no problem. That's not going to really be discard for me. I'm going to put it in the fridge if I don't need it more, or feed it again if I have another recipe planned.
How does someone get their starter?
Good question. You can get your starter, you can make it homemade. Again, just filtered water. We have a reverse osmosis system that remineralizes itself. And unbleached flour. That's how you make it. It takes about 5 days before it's ready to use. You can also, you probably know someone who has it, so look around. Or you can also look all over Facebook or Etsy. You can order it from
I think
someone.
you could even order it on Amazon if you really wanted to.
Probably.
I think I saw it up there.
Order on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right, so it's very easy to get a sourdough starter if you don't want to make it. I didn't want to make it. A family member gave some to me, so I have been doing this for several months now. I am still learning, but I feel comfortable with it. I have the hang of it. It took me probably 5 months maybe to really feel strong about it. I don't have a lot of discard. I'm not wasting a lot. I know what recipes I want to make when. I can plan around it. So you can do it too.
Is that it?
I think so. I think so.
One aspect you might want to talk about is the protein content in the flour. You don't want to get there. Go on.
Well, the higher the gluten
So the protein content is
the gluten content.
Yeah,
The
basically.
higher that number, the better.
So like our flour is 11 point something percent.
11.5.
Yeah, so like it's move your hand. Yeah, 11.5, and that's just from Costco. But bread making flours are typically higher in.
Yeah, if a recipe tells you to use bread flour, you can just use regular flour unless, as an equal part substitute, unless the recipe tells otherwise. I recommend reading the recipe if it's on a blog or something, reading to make sure that that's an okay substitute, because some recipes are very particular and say you must use bread flour for this. So generally though, I just equal part substitute.
The other thing is too is you might have noticed other people's sourdoughs look different colors. They might be using rye flour or different flours, so it's just a matter of the flours that are being used. It's not necessary to use those other ones, but if you prefer that flavor, you can, of course. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and different ones have various health benefits as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to get into all that.
no, but I'm just saying that would be part of the point of that.
Yeah.
So that is sourdough starter. Let us know if you have any questions. This is super easy, I promise. It is very intimidating at first, at least it was for me, but it is so manageable. I am working, I breastfeed,
You're a mother.
I'm a mother,
A
all
wife.
the things. But I can do it. So you can do it too, I promise you. It is so simple. Let us know if you have questions. We're happy to answer, or make another video if you need some more clarity on something. Let us know how your sourdough journey goes. We're excited to hear about it. Thank you for watching.